Hey, Tommy, how's it going? Got a ball. Brian Stavey. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right? All right. Hey, Derek. This is a song I wrote. It's about the interesting bits of truth that enter into your head when you start just by being quiet. There was nothing on my mind when I started this song. There were no words or chords in my head. I just started with a brand new slate, knowing I could do no wrong, and thinking about nothing but the Grateful Dead. Take long for this song to find me. Words came just like an autumn breeze when nothing's going on. That's when my soul begins to speak, like the sweet, sweet sound of Jerry's leaf. My masterpiece. I hope this song's a hit and not for no cash, 'cause I just wanna sing it every day to remind me to take my time, take a breath, take my foot off the gas. The quiet lets me hear what I'm trying to say. The quiet lets me hear what I'm trying to say. The quiet lets me hear what I'm trying to say. Sean, that was for you, buddy. Thinking about nothing but the truth. Being quiet and thinking about nothing but the truth. Be quiet and think nothing about the truth. Be quiet and think nothing but the truth. Sean knows the lyrics to every Grateful Dead song. I need a miracle. I'll play one more for you, Sean. As I was walking round Government Square, not a chill to the winter, but a nip to the air. from the other direction. She was calling my eye. Could have been an illusion, but I might as well try. Might as well try. She had rings on her fingers and bells on her shoes, and I knew without asking she was into the blues. She wore scarlet begonias tucked inside her curls. I knew right away she was not like other girls, other girls. In the heat of the evening when the dealing got rough, she was too bad to open and too cool to bluff. As I picked up my matches and closed in the door, I had one of those flashes like I've been there before, been there before. Well, I'm not always right, but I've never been wrong. Seldom works out the way it does in a song. Once in a while you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. Well, there's nothing wrong with the way she moves. All scarlet begonias and a touch of the blues. And there's nothing wrong with that look in her eye. I had to learn the hard way to let her pass by, let her pass by. Singing T-bone too. The sky was yellow and the sun was blue. Strangers stopping strangers just to shake their hand. Everybody's playing in the Heart Gold Band, Heart Gold Band. Up my matches and stabilized my brain. Had to learn the hard way that we live on a freaking plane, a freaking plane. I just made that one up. Had to learn the hard way. Had to learn the hard way that we live on a freaking plane. As I picked up my matches and stabilized my brain, had to learn the hard way that we live on a freaking plane, a freaking plane. Man on the street just the other day came at me swinging a razor blade. He said, "Yo man, did you steal my jug of liqueur?" I said, "I don't know where it's at. You can help yourself to my bottle of Jack, but I don't think it's booze we're looking for." He said, "What makes us think we know what the hell we're looking for? What it takes to get us through the night?" I said, "I never met you before. I think our things falling short. Instead we should be looking at what gets us through our life. Need a shower and a nice dry place, something to do and somewhere to say grace. Cup of tea and a warm embrace, or we'll become the next sorry case." Seeing people falling apart makes it hard to see the stars, and the sun seems to shine with a diminished glow. I can't give any expert advice about everything people need in life, but these 6 things are things I surely know. Need a shower and a nice dry place, something to do and somewhere to say grace. Cup of tea and a warm embrace, and we'll become next sorry case. I don't wanna see another sorry case, and I don't wanna be the next sorry case. Your love is like radiant diamonds burning inside us, we cannot contain. Your love will surely come find us, like blazing wildfires, singing your name. God mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design. I made this offering stretch across the sky. These hallelujahs be multiplied. These hallelujahs be multiplied. These hallelujahs be multiplied. I could, for a double bass, what you can do is you'd have to have 2-foot pedals, but then you can have like a MIDI pickup thing. So you could do it, but I'm running out of feet over here, Derek. I got 2 feet and I got 3 pedals on the ground. So if I were to add another pedal, that would be 4 pedals on the ground. I could add a bass to one of these pads, so you'd have like... Spy dog and your spy dog sitting by you. Your spy dog said to my spy dog, gonna set your tail on fire. I said, hey now, I go all day. Giacomo fina na na na, Giacomo fina na. I said, hey now, I go all day. Giacomo fina na na na, Giacomo fina na. Your grandma was sitting by the fire. Your grandma sitting, my grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. I said, hey now, I go all day. Giacomo fina na na na, Giacomo fina na. I said, hey now, I go all day. Giacomo fina na na na, Giacomo fina na. Hey now. Were you guys saying hey now out there? Were you, when I go, hey now, were you go, hey now, I go all day. Giacomo fina na na day, Giacomo fina na. I said, hey now, we live on a freaking plane. Giacomo fina na na na, I got Stanley on my brain. I said, hey now, I go all day. Giacomo fina na na na, we live on a freaking plane. You see, we could do this with any song. We could take any of these songs where we don't really understand the lyrics, I'm really not sure what Giacomo fina means. But we don't live on a plane. I mean, we live on a plane. We don't live on a... Hey now, I go up here. Giacomo fina na na na, we don't live on a sphere. I said, hey now, I go up here. morphine, na na na. We don't live on sphere. We don't live on no sphere. Doc Michael, you guys rock. I know Sean was singing with me. He's got that one in his head. He knows all the lyrics. There are more lyrics to that one than those two that I sang. I forget what they all are. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. We're gonna go from one song where we're talking about getting stably. Derek, to singing about the truth, what we observe every single day of our lives since the beginning. Free your mind, let your senses win, and then see the sun above us spin. Doesn't set like we've been told to think. It just sails into the distance. Hark now, hear the sailors cry. Lost at sea, but in the night. Saved by a far-off beam of light as it shines across the flat ocean. And when the fog all goes, I could see the truth that shows. And when the fog all goes, I can feel it, and I'll never fear it, because I freed my twisted soul, bent by lies since I was 1 day old. The sun doesn't set like we've been told. It just sails into the distance. When the fog all goes, you know what the fog is? The fog is the brainwashing. I could see the truth that shows. Once you see through the brainwashing, you see the truth that's showing. And when the fog all goes, I can feel it. And you know what happens is all those fears just disappear. And I'll never fear it, because I freed my twisted soul, bent by lies since I was 1 day old. The sun doesn't set like we've been told. It just sails into the distance. Oh, 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 It just sails into the distance. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. It just sails into the distance. Everyone now. Oh, 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 oh. It just sails into the distance. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Just sails into the distance. You guys all know that one by now, right? Docks in Dreamland. Where's that? Is that in Arizona? I'm in dream. Hey, what's up, fam? You know, I listened to that woman. She's pretty awesome. And I love the just the stripped down sound, you know. She's got a really good vibe to her. What's her name? English? Anyone want to talk? Give me a call. Little ring. Nine 978-561-6168. I hope everyone had a good weekend and you guys have good family events coming up. This is the big one, right? Thanksgiving, where you have to get together with all your family and then pretend like you're interested in the sporty ball. Oh yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe they lost that game. I mean, won that game. I mean the match. I don't know. I'm not sure. And then people are like, oh, I hear Uncle Christian's a flat earther. I should wear a t-shirt that's like, ask me about my views on politics. And then on the back, it's like, I don't give a crap. All right. The weather's been pretty interesting. So I don't know if anyone experiences the same kind of stuff that I do, but when the skies get crazy and there's crazy weather in the air, my skin is like radioactive. So like 2 nights ago, we had this crazy sky. It was purple and blue and orange and all these things. And like the very next morning, I woke up and my skin was like all inflated and puffy and like I had an allergic reaction to something. So it's been rainy here, and things got a little bit better for me when it started raining, but when the sky looks like that, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know what it is. The sunshine sometimes makes my skin crawl, you know? It's a weird kind of sunshine, but I also know that the water that comes out of the shower head in my town is heavily chlorinated, and I do the best that I can to get the chlorine out of the filter, but who knows what else I'm showering in. So it could be a combination of like a whole bunch of things. Growing old, watching silver turn to gold, snowy cold. Why aren't you here for me to hold? In a dream, somewhere finding my way home. And a change of scene, the rest took place in ancient Rome. Was I a king? Pretty ladies all around. Gave one a ring, so satisfied in who we found. Didn't make much sense, but we loved to do our thing. Behind her fence, behind her little silver ring, they turned to gold, turned to gold. Oh. going home, watching silver turn to gold. Hey, Sean, I'm watching what you're saying about Jerry Garcia. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence to the fact that the band was like a big experiment of some sort that is probably connected all the way up to the social engineering stuff. That same with the Beatles and everything, you know. All right, let me turn my. All right, I should have the phone line up and working. 978-561-6168. Karen, I love the fact, sing to Jesus. He hears you. Hey, welcome to the jam. Who's this?
Hey man, it's the one man band. It's Mike from the UK. How are you doing?
Hey, hold on.
I wasn't sure. I was trying to think. I was trying to think of a topic. Actually, there was on Brian's interview. She was talking about.
Hold on 1 second. Are you on a speakerphone?
Yeah. No, sorry. No, I'm just on just my normal telephone.
It sounds a little bit muffled to me. Someone in the chat saying can't hear too well.
Maybe it's probably the fan in the background. You know, I'll call back, mate.
What's that?
I'll call back, mate.
Yeah, try. Is this on a voice over IP phone, like an internet phone?
No.
Oh,
it's probably just the background noise.
Yeah, it's like you're in a tin can.
Right. I'll call back, mate.
Okay, cool. See you, Mike.
All right, dude. Cheers.
Thanks for calling in, man. Call back.
Cheers, dude. All right.
That was. Sometimes you get those connections from long distance, you know, like remember when Nixon called the moon? That was, you know, that was pretty staticky. I guess there was, you know, pretty good call clarity to the moon these days. There's a reflector up there that evidently we just keep hitting it with a laser. We put it up there. Hey, welcome to the jam. Who's this?
Hi, it's Karen.
Hey, Karen.
How are you?
Good. That's a good solid call quality right there.
Am I too loud? I know I was too loud last time.
You sound all right to me.
Cool.
How you doing?
Right on. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all, and to you, Christian. You're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So I was going to type it in, and I thought I would just call. I can't get through to these kids' head, and the kids are young adults. That a tin can going up into outer space just isn't gonna make it through the Van Allens and the blah blah blahs, and they don't get it. In their mind, the CGI rules.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know what to do except for have all y'all pray with me. I mean, just keep that in prayer for me because I'm having, it's just me against the kids.
Yeah, it's crazy. So do you actually have a bunch of grandkids that have challenged you on this topic?
Oh, they call me batshite crazy.
Yeah.
And because they're fresh out of this indoctrination, you know, I got a 18-year-old, 19-year-old, and I got one that my granddaughter, I said, that wrestles.
Yeah.
She'll be, I mean, she's more lenient to listen to me, but she still thinks I'm crazy. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm getting water for my teeth.
Well, I'll tell you what, I honestly think it's not a matter of like proving anything to them at this age. It's really just planting
But
seeds.
yeah.
Because at some point people have to accept the fact that what was put in their head was put there for a reason. And it's only when you take responsibility for the content in your brain that you actually can see through the deceptions and the brainwashing that you've undergone, you know? So
yeah, and you know, they bring it up. I do not bring it up because that's like going and staring a lion in the face, right? So
yeah.
they bring it up and, oh, my grandma believes this or that. And then, you know, then I don't defend myself. I just say, I'll never go back to the way you guys think. You can't make me.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just weird. And anyhow, yeah.
You know, sometimes it's good to, you know, try different space missions. You know, the moon is one that is easy to just see right through, you know, all the pictures that have been shown, all of the data around it, the fact that the astronauts were so upset when they came home that they couldn't even smile, even though they had just like done something, you know, that mankind could only dream of, right? Yet they're sitting there with the, you know, all of those things are pretty easy to see that the whole thing, but it was, you know, in the 60s, and it's like a whole different time for kids, and they, you know, can't really relate to it. So if you take something that's currently going on like the ISS and just say, okay, take a look at some of the mockery in the ISS and all the different stories that we're hearing, you know, and all of the different snafus that they've had on the ISS as far as cables and wires and bad, you know, bad CGI and multi-screen, you know, like green screen stuff going on and water flying around. And then you say, you know, what are they actually breathing up there? Because, you know, if you're going to say that they make their own oxygen, well, they need stuff to make their own oxygen, like water, you know, like where's the abundant supply of water that they...
Oh, apparently they would probably ship it to them. That's probably an answer I would get.
Yeah.
They would have, yeah. Well,
so,
yeah.
You know, maybe just, you know, some images like the planet images are crazy. You know, the pictures of the sun and all of the obvious CGI stuff that's happening with the big blue marble and the people that have come clean and said it's really not a picture, it's just, you know, a made up thing in Photoshop, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as they're fresh out of school, 18 years old, the brainwashing is just sunk in, you know. And now you're challenging them to kind of undo the last 12 years of their life.
Yes. That was an evil laugh. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I like that laugh. You know, what I've done is I've planted some seeds early, and I've just kind of shown my kids pictures of you know, the planets and the obvious CGI stuff. And my daughter asked me if I was a flat earther, and I told her, well, I'll tell you what, when you take the NASA away from the whole thing and you chalk NASA up to a big joke and a big deception, which I believe, then I really don't know what it looks like, you know?
Right. Well, that's what I could say is I can tell you right now the Earth is a lot bigger to me than what a little tiny old globe would be. That thing looks puny,
Yeah,
with big old masses of earth and water. No, I believe it's a lot bigger, but we don't know yet.
it's
But I got these kids on the map changes on the maps, that have changed, and
yeah.
in the Bible, they can't deny that. It's just outer space is still real to them. They play that silly Fortnite. They do all that. And my granddaughter, yesterday, I was visiting my grandkids all weekend, and my granddaughter goes, "Look, Mimi, look, there's proof that it's not a flat Earth." And I'm like, "Okay, are you watching CGI?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to hear it."
Yeah. It's amazing, all of the devices when they go into like screensaver mode, they end up just showing these space pictures, of the big curved ball, and none of it looks right because all of the land masses that you can see are all, the sizes are completely wrong. The curvature is like all wrong.
Right. I mean, I've got a world ocean floor map on my wall that I've had forever. It's National Geographic, right? I love maps.
Yeah.
And this thing it's moved on it magically. I show the kids and I show people and they go, "No, no, no, that's not right." I'm like, "Well, you're looking at it,
Yeah. I'll tell
But
you, this place became a lot more mysterious to me when I like woke up to the whole thing. It's like it went from just being this ball that we're hurling on to like, oh my gosh, because the sun is making its circuit around us and it is lighting up all the area that it goes over. But
exactly.
at some point the sun doesn't go any further and it moves back towards the center. And I'm just thinking, okay, so it goes out to a certain point, and then beyond that, who knows what that is? That's just blackness.
Right. It goes over the ocean. It goes to China. It goes somewhere from here.
So, even if you believe that there's a dome or a firmament above us, like, what if it's not for another, almost infinite thing before they, hit the dome? I don't, you could calculate. Some people say that the dome, we've seen things hit the dome. So if you were to draw it out, it would be like a semicircle above us. But maybe the dome is actually, much, much broader than we think it, Maybe,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe you'd have to go in the blackness for, 10 years before you reach the wall. Like
never know.
You never know. Like the whole thing became so much more mysterious once I realized we were on a plane,
Yeah. It's very interesting. I just love it.
Yeah, it's I just wish there was more science around the just like all of the measurements and experiments have been railroaded to just reflect the globe, but if you think about if people actually put money into expeditions and, reaching out into the darkness and seeing what kinds of things are out there. But I mean, I'm sure that the powers to be have been way out there,
Yeah. I've got the one kid that comes around here and visits with me. He's got a good brain on him. He wants to be a pilot. He's already flown, but he wants to be a full-fledged. And so he believes in globe Earth, and I keep trying to tell him, you talk to pilots, talk to other people, whatever, but he's not there yet. He wants to go to Embry-Riddle up here.
Yeah.
And so we have this plan. I'm a flatty and he's a globey. So we're going to prove it together one day.
That's
so
really cool.
I think that's a cool plan. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't go around saying, yeah, the Earth is flat and you can't. It's like, let's prove it together.
Yeah.
Let's do some experiments together, eyes on. I don't want secondhand information. And it's so easy to do a flat Earth.
Yeah. And
I mean,
and also like start dropping some breadcrumbs about like gyroscopes and how planes have been using them for
Oh, I've gone there. Yeah.
and how about the maps and the flight routes that people fly?
Right.
How
That one right there. See,
There-
now he's been thinking his grandpa worked for the government, and his grandpa saw something up there around that area 51, and he was going to tell them something was there, and they, like I think I said on the last show, I'm not sure, but they said you didn't see anything. We don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. Well,
So he's kind of thinking there is a deception going on. I might get him to think about other things, but this the globe, boy oh boy, the globe is stuck.
yeah, it's the way that things are trending right now. I think people are waking up in big time numbers, and you start to
Big
see
time.
you start to see these polls that show that 50% of the people don't necessarily believe that we're on a globe. That doesn't mean that they're flat earthers or anything. It just means that a lot of people are very skeptical about the information that they've been fed, but it takes a certain amount of time. And for some people, it seems like somewhere in your 30s is a spot where a lot of people end up, you know, recognizing the deceptions
Right?
and recognizing that everything that they know it was like pushed into their head through their grade school and high school and everything like that. And that's the whole program. It's like all meant to be, stuff that puts your history and puts your science and jams it all in there. And from that point on, 18 on, you're on your own, and you've got to deal with this 12 years of schooling that has happened to you.
Yes.
And so
And if there wasn't somebody like me putting a glitch in my grandkids' life, they may go on just being working for the beast system,
yeah.
But I go at other avenues. I don't go flat earth with them. I go every other avenue that look what you're doing. Look, where's our American dream at the moment? We've got to either make a change or stand up and say we don't consent about what they're, giving the kids. They're giving the kids mathematics to be able to be the nuclear scientist or whatever, which my one grandson just missed being a nuclear. He can do everything else but that. So I tease him. I go, you failed. I'm joking.
You know that the system is just waiting for the cream of the crop because, they sift off the cream of the crop and they bring them into the secrets,
And then the other people were just drone workers, the beehive thing,
Yeah. If you're born into a family where you get sent to like a private school, like a boarding school, and that they get an entirely different education that we do. And it's basically like when they get into their Ivy League school, they're going to be in the club, and it's going to be a welcoming into this big old brotherhood of lies that, it's all these elites that manage to keep the network going, and that network, it's all the people that end up CEOs, and they end up politicians, and they end up heads of banks, and they end up heads of Federal Reserve and everything like that. It's like everyone gets brought into the system, and they follow their family bloodline, and they continue the secrets. It's like a crazy world, and if you're part of it, then you're part of it. If you're not, you're not. And it's a lot of people that aren't part of it, they have to take about 20 years, like before they can wake up to the brainwashing.
Right.
And
well, when I was in my 20s, I was very natural, and I really didn't care for the government, but I dealt with everything from my family, go to work, be the mom, do everything.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a grandma with, time on my hands, I understand quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I want to be a help somehow.
That's interesting. When you said you had the time on your hands, I believe that is one of the things that they don't want you to have, because like they
Hmm.
want you to have your nose to the grindstone 24/7, right? Because the moment you pop up your head and you have an opportunity to look at what's going on around you, that's when people go, holy smokes, I cannot believe that I didn't see that,
I didn't see that. That's what I keep doing all the time, every day. It's like, wow, I didn't see that, you
Yeah.
know?
And a lot of times it's like an accident. Sometimes people have an accident and they're in the hospital and recovering, and while they're at home, they're reading about their world, and they come to vastly different conclusions than they had back in high school, Um,
Truly, yeah.
some people, it's like drug addiction, and they end up hitting rock bottom, and then in the process of waking up, they may have some time in their recovery to really it's a tough thing, because you're talking about
Right?
getting off of a chemical while you're also reorganizing your brain with all of these new ideas about the where you live and everything like that. So you kind of I've seen a lot of people take the time while they're recovering to kind of see through a lot of the deceptions. And I think a lot of people actually put things off to the side. Like, I had a hunch that there might have been something fishy about the moon landing, let's say, and I just
Right?
never had the time to dig into it. I knew that there was something really fishy about events in September, that I just wasn't able to kind of apply the time that I needed to really dissect the event. So my life just kind of went on. I had busy stuff to do, but
Yeah.
the moment you get some downtime, you can kind of open up the can of worms that you put to the side and start
And oh
looking at these.
boy,
And
I
oh
love
boy,
opening those.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I fell for that one too.
Right?
And you start to
Yeah.
see that all the little political angles that you used to hold, like all the different uh politicians that you aligned yourself with, they're all puppets, and they're all part of the same thing as the other
Well,
politicians. It's like a big gang
what
of them.
what hit home for me was when I got hurt working at the school I worked for 13 years. I was all around, do everything in self-contained special ed, drive big bus, playground, cafeteria, everything, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got hurt, I saw how they did not help me.
Yeah.
And they didn't go by policy when I got hurt, and nothing ever came out of that. But I lost it right there. I was like, if these guys are so bad, everything else is,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I mean,
So it just hit home to me in the year 2000 when I got hurt. I couldn't work anymore.
if you think about it, it all trickles down to creepy people at a local level, creepy people that are running the schools. There's like there are people at all these different levels. They're all, a lot of them are part of the same clubs that, the other, and it's a big elbow rubbing, the politicians, and going to events and local events and rubbing elbows with all the, it's just like a game that I never, ever, ever want to be in. I've never wanted to be schmoozing or be in some kind of like club that I had to be in order for my job to flourish or something like that. I I went to a school where most of the kids, most of the boys went into fraternities, right? And it was like something like 87% of the male population at my college went into a fraternity. And
Uh,
I went into these things and I was kind of like, wow, I cannot believe it. But they they end up meeting all these friends and all these alumnus, and the network that they have is like huge at the point that you join a fraternity. You've got all these people in your fraternity that you can just call on and say, hey, look, I'm going for a job at your bank. Could you put in a good word for me? And all of these connections are part of becoming a brother in these things. And it just never felt right, like the whole idea of like being part of a club like that never felt right to me. Like I'd have to compromise who I was as a person.
Right.
It was absolutely heinous stuff that took place in these things. But when you're part of something heinous, you're kind of like that's a secret that bonds you. It's like they all have these secrets.
It's a pressure, though. It's a pressure.
Yeah. It's
wow.
It really is. It really is scary, the kinds of, and they start early too. There are some summer camps that are meant to kind of like build the networks of kids so that when they get into school and then they get out into the working world, they have this network of family, friends and kids that they've been going to summer camp with for, months and months and months, ever since they were like 8 years old.
Right.
And so they all become, able to get them into a job or a political office or something like that. It's all these networks that are built sometimes way down to the 8-year-olds. And it's a little bit scary to think about your whole identity kind of being taken by a society or a brotherhood or some kind of clan that you're in, that is like all of a sudden that's your that's your identity more so than you as a person. You've now just kind of, you now identify as like Sigma Chi or something.
Right. For sure. And that they own that identity pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get compromised, certainly in the process of getting hazed and all the pledging of the fraternity and stuff like that. You get compromised in a big way. You get put into situations where you're doing horrendous things, or they're taking pictures of you doing things with other people, and once they have all those pictures, it's basically like, you're part of the club. Don't, it's like no one's going to spill the beans on the other people, the fact that they've been compromised in that way, and the illegal or heinous things that they had to do as part of the pledging process. It's really kind of sick and twisted. And when you get into the things like the secret societies, one can only imagine what's actually taking place in those things.
Yeah.
Something where it's like, when they asked Bush, so you're in Skull and Bones, what is that all about? And he's like, yes, I'm in Skull and Bones, and I can't say anything more. That's it. Right. And this is before he was president. This is George W. Bush. At that moment, I was like, I don't want this guy to be president. I have no idea who he is reporting to or what kind of allegiance he has, but he just told me that he's got a whole bunch of secrets that he doesn't want to get into.
And he acted like a dummy the whole time too, like just a dumbass.
Yeah,
when he was president, amazing. It was like stupid.
I honestly think it was like a lifetime of spoiling that came to the forefront. Look at him. I mean, he was so unsophisticated. It was like every single day he had the same meal that his mom had been making for him, which was a bologna sandwich and some cheese doodles. And it's that's the truth.
Funny.
That's the truth. And it's like, it's an undeveloped mind that had just had everything given to him, and all of the trouble that he got into that most kids had to face, their parents just bailed them out, and just kept moving them through the system into the secret society and then on to the presidency, onto the management where he's like the head of the baseball team in Texas, and then he's the governor, and then he's the president. Boom, it's
Yeah,
like,
and he was president by because they had to do all that recount and stuff, remember?
oh yeah, I mean that
And they put him in there. They didn't want the other guy in there.
yeah, it's at that
Quail?
point.
No, but it was Bush Quail.
No,
Who
it
was
was
he
the
running
other
against?
guy, Al Gore.
Gore, yeah.
And then he lost to Kerry. I mean, then he beat Kerry, and that was one of those really interesting situations where the same
Thank
thing.
God. Anyhow, Kerry came from Arizona, and I couldn't stand him here.
Oh, I thought. Are you talking about John Kerry? He's like the
Yeah.
senator. Oh, he's from Arizona.
Uh-huh.
Wow, I didn't know
Him
that.
and Jeff Flake, and
Oh.
good old McCain was from here too.
Well, John Kerry
Good
was
old.
also in the same fraternity that George Bush was. So
Yeah.
here we had a pick of who we wanted to be our president. We could either pick this Skull and Bones member or this Skull and Bones member.
Right.
I mean, the whole system's rigged,
And you can't go into Skull and Bones and pretend like, okay, I'm going to get in here, and then I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to change the world without these guys knowing it, because you can't. You've sold in your soul when you go do that.
Yeah, totally. It's total puppet show that we're you really have to wake up to the whole matrix together. It's not like, I mean, there are steps to waking up, but at some point the illusion shatters inside you and you're like broken open.
Yeah. Yeah. So if Jesus Christ runs for president, that's who I'm going to vote for. Other than that, I'm not ever voting again for another silly thing.
Well, Jesus would never run for president. He'll be running things all right. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the platform that Jesus would have if he were running for president. I could see him going around like the country on the train, and hopping on horses and just cruising around and talking about some meaningful stuff and having everyone like ridicule him and stuff like that.
And giving money away instead of taking the money.
Yeah.
But there won't be any money, but just for an example.
Give all the money back to people that donate.
Right?
It would be an amazing thing, because like honestly the dude, whatever religion you happen to be, it doesn't really matter. Like the guy and what he stood for was pretty damn cool, which is just like a total in your face truther, that didn't really care who was going to challenge him, but like he just kept responding in a kind way towards people that had animosity, and he just kept speaking the truth and not getting rattled or anything like that. You got to admire a guy like that, regardless of whether you're a Christian or not.
This is going to be interesting, whoever they select to put in there. And that's one thing I wanted to call and tell everybody I love you, but also that I don't have everybody's emails or phone numbers, but I'm pretty sure Doc will give that all to us. Ha 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 ha. Just joking, Doc.
Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Yes, thank you, and happy Thanksgiving. Give thanks to God. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna be doing a bunch of things with the family, and I'm just hoping everything goes smoothly and you have a wonderful time.
And y'all are in my prayers at all times. Like when I think of you or see your name, that's a good thought going up. So just keep in mind my grandkids, that they need to catch something. If one of them gets it, then the other ones will get it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about truth. It's like dominoes. Like you can actually get one person and it could spread to brothers or sisters that jump on board, and if there's someone that they love and who's been someone that they've supported, and they wake up to, some truth that is pretty earth shattering, there's still a connection and a respect there that if people can avoid being triggered, and they can see that they still love their brother or sister, even if they believe something different, and slowly over time, they can see that there's, something really important and magical about the people, just like the people that went to the Flat Earth conference in Dallas, that there was a certain aura about the people that were there. And I'm sure there was, where you have a gathering of people that are really open-minded and happy about who they are as people and what they've been through, and genuinely eager for meeting like-minded people. There's something magical that's going to happen,
Yes, and by the way, I want to get with my Arizona friends out here. I've met a few, not in person, but we need to get a meet up here in Arizona, because a lot of us can't travel far.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I think I like the idea of what they have going around, in England or
Yeah,
Europe.
I think that's awesome. We should do it here.
Yeah, just have a bus going around, and at some point in the next few months, for a fact that the bus is going to be coming through your town or nearby or something like that.
Right? We might get grenaded out of there, huh? By our own government.
Who knows what would happen, but who
But
cares?
God's with us. So
Yeah.
I went down to South Mexico for 5 months. I was the only white girl down there, and God was with me.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Well, that's
Anyhow, I love y'all. Take care, and I'll be in chat.
Sounds good, Karen. Thanks so much for the call.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. I think I have time for maybe one more quick one. Someone wants to call in, 978-561-6168. Hey, Carla. How's it going? And Tommy, I didn't know you rode dirt bikes. That's pretty awesome. And I had no idea you've got oceanfront property in Arizona. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I think I might have to go. Got a few things to do. But I appreciate you hanging out. For the past 1 hour and 14 minutes. I think Stavely's coming up at 3. So in an hour, around an hour, I think he'll be live, and I'll see you guys all there. Karen was talking about her grandkids, waking them up. And sometimes all it takes is little patience. Shed a tear 'cause I'm missing you. I'm still alright to smile. I think about you every day now. Was a time when I wasn't sure, but you put my mind at ease. There's no doubt you're in my heart now. Said I'm gonna take it slow, things will work out fine. All we need is just a little patience. I said I'm gonna make it slow, come together fine. All we need is just a little patience. standing here on the stairs, 'cause I'd rather be alone. If I can't be with you, I'll wait here. Sometimes I get so tense, but I can't speed up the time. Perhaps there's one more thing to consider. Said I'm gonna take it slow, come together fine. All we need is just a little patience. I said I'm gonna make it slow and the lights are shining bright. We've got what it takes to make it, and we can't fake it. I won't fake it. I know you can take it. Yeah, with a little patience. Yeah, with a little patience. Yeah, I've been walking the streets at night just to try to get it right, 'cause it's hard to see with so many around, and I don't like being stuck in a crowd. And the streets don't change, maybe the name. I ain't got time for this game, 'cause I need you. Yeah, I need you. I need you. Yeah, I need you. This time. Have a great and awesome day. Bye.